Welcome to St. Peter Port, the capital and largest town of the beautiful island of Guernsey. I'm so pleased you decided to visit our historic town and learn more about its fascinating history and development into a popular tourist destination. Evidence shows that St. Peter Port has been inhabited since prehistoric times. Archaeological digs have uncovered remains of a Neolithic camp near the coast, proving that people lived in this area over 5,000 years ago. The town began to develop during medieval times when the island was conquered by the Normans. William the Conqueror granted the island to the Abbey of Marmoutier in mainland Normandy, and the monks established a small harbour here, which became known as St. Pierre Port, later anglicised to St. Peter Port. By the 13th century, Elizabeth Castle was built on a rocky islet just offshore to help defend the harbour from attack. The castle has been an iconic landmark of St. Peter Port ever since. During the 100 Years' War, the castle withstood several French attacks and proved its defensive capabilities. Over the centuries, additions and reinforcements were made, transforming the medieval fortress into the formidable 16th century citadel you can visit today. Walking along the castle breakwater at high tide and seeing the powerful waves crashing against the rocks gives you a sense of the strategic maritime location St. Peter Port holds. Moving forward to the 18th and 19th centuries, the town flourished as a trading port. Ships exported knit goods and imported a variety of goods like wine, spices, and tobacco from across the British Empire and beyond. The wealthy merchant families built grand townhouses along the harbour, creating the beautiful Georgian architecture that lends St. Peter Port its distinctive charm today. Cobblestone streets and alleyways wind between the tightly packed stone buildings, many covered in bright flowers and ivy. It's like walking through a maze of history. Climbing up through the old town brings you to Hauteville, the heart of old St. Peter Port and home to landmarks like the impressive town church. Built in 1815, the church has an unusually large tower that was purposefully designed to accommodate the whole congregation of a typical parish church. The town church is just one of the town's numerous historic places of worship, reflecting the diversity and rich heritage of the local population over the centuries. As demand grew for an expanded harbour in the 19th century, St. Peter Port embarked on major land reclamation projects, extending the coastline further out into the bay. The glittering harbour reached its peak in Victorian times, full of sailing ships, steamers and traders bustling about the docks. Guernsey's shipbuilding industry also thrived during this period. While shipbuilding and trading activity has diminished from those glory days, the harbour is still the heart of the town today, lined with restaurants, shops and leisure activities focused on the waterfront. World War II left a major mark on St. Peter Port when the Channel Islands were the only part of the British territories occupied by German forces for 5 years. Thousands of islanders were evacuated before the occupation, leaving the town empty. You can still see occupation-era fortifications and tunnels left behind. This dark chapter helped inspire one of Guernsey's most famous cultural exports, the novel The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Mary Ann Schaffer and Annie Barrows. The book gives a vivid insight into the German occupation and subsequent liberation of St. Peter Port. After the war, the island focused on rebuilding and expanding its tourism sector to help boost the economy. British holidaymakers flocked to enjoy Guernsey's mild climate and coastal beauty. St. Peter Port provided charming accommodations, delightful restaurants and numerous attractions to entertain visitors while also functioning as the economic and administrative hub of the island. Wandering through the narrow cobblestone lanes and alleys of the old town provides a glimpse into St. Peter Port's past as you discover historic parish churches, former merchants' homes, medieval streets, hidden gardens tucked between buildings and more. Make sure to stop in at the Guernsey Museum and Art Gallery by Candy Gardens to learn about the fascinating history and heritage of both St. Peter Port and the entire bailiwick of Guernsey through interactive exhibits and displays of artifacts. Outdoor lovers will enjoy walking along the scenic south coast cliffs, strolling through stunning gardens like Sausmarez Manor, or exploring the tidal islands linked to St. Peter Port at low tide. Be sure to check when high and low tides will be before venturing out. The beautiful Jerborg Point offers panoramic coastal views from the headlands, while Fermant Bay provides sheltered sandy beaches and seaside cafes. Foodies will adore the incredible seafood and local delicacies available in St. Peter Port's restaurants, bistros, beachfront kiosks, harbourside cafes, cosy pubs, and dockside crab shacks. Traditional Guernsey gash, a rich fruit bread, makes a delicious breakfast. Sample fresh-caught lobster, crab, oysters, mussels, sea bass, and orma, local abalone. Or try innovative dishes that blend local ingredients like handmade cheeses and artisan-crafted gin with global influences. St. Peter Port has several lively annual events that attract both locals and visitors. The Harbour Carnival in July celebrates the maritime heritage with family activities like boat races, live music, and fireworks over the harbour. The St. Peter Port Christmas Carnival in November and December sees the waterfront lit up by magical illuminations and festive market stalls filled with handmade gifts and holiday treats. And every May 9th, Liberation Day marks the end of the island's occupation with parades, ceremonies and celebrations across St. Peter Port. While St. Peter Port treasures its past, it also keeps an eye towards the future. The Guernsey Financial Centre draws international businesses focused on banking, insurance, investment funds, and more. New developments like the Admiral Park Retail Complex and the modern office buildings of the Leals Yard redevelopment area exist alongside historic neighbourhoods. St. Peter Port balances maintaining its heritage and capitalising on contemporary opportunities. This overview gives you a taste of the rich history and lively culture of St. Peter Port. Let the cobbled lanes and stone homes transport you back in time as you explore the museums, fortresses and parish churches dotting this special harbour town. Savour the freshest local seafood while gazing at stunning coastal vistas. And immerse yourself in the combination of tradition, resilience and positivity that makes St. Peter Port so appealing to residents and visitors alike. Thank you for taking the time to get to know our wonderful capital.